cities, boom, gone. It's like, is it just me, am I projecting this, or from your memory banks of being a kid, was it like, we would have disasters and be shocked because all these buildings got knocked down, and there'd be like 12 people dead? Or is it, you get the question, is it just me, or is this stuff like hundreds dead from some tornadoes? I don't, the country's falling apart or something. I feel like old-timers disease, where the good old days, you could have a disaster without everybody fucking getting killed.
Yeah, well, it's hard to know what the right context is. I mean, I grew up in Louisiana as a kid, and yeah, there was hurricanes and some really bad fucking hurricanes, and we would go driving after the hurricanes, and there'd be big 5-foot trees down the middle of people's houses, and it was really bad. So everybody has their own experience, and this was an unheard of tornado. So I mean, there is something going on. You can almost argue that there's never been such a tornado. I mean, as far as I understand, like I said, I haven't gone into all the research either, but this was a huge tornado. This was like mega tornado, or whatever you want to call it, like a 500-year tornado. And I guess,
yeah, I get that. And I get that, and there's the weird tornadoes, and that's funny too, all the biblical level of stuff. But on the other hand, you look at it and you go, okay, but 500 years, and we've been couple hundred years of a democracy. Part of it is just, why aren't there more shelters? Because it might be a 500-year tornado, and that means it's $50 billion of building damage you can't do anything about. But people just need a place to go underground, and you could have a 10,000-year tornado, and they just open the door when it's time to come out,
Yeah, well, I'm not against having some rational precautions, but what happens if an earthquake, there's a 500 earthquake thing hits Manhattan? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, those 10 million people, you wouldn't have enough, there wouldn't be any infrastructure you could have in place that would make that one okay. I mean, the whole Mississippi Delta was created by, the whole Mississippi River was created by an earthquake in the Midwest, a huge, giant earthquake. So those happen every 200 or 300 years.
I never heard that. I'll have to look that up. That sounds interesting. So it created enough of a fissure that then the water wore away. That's awesome. I'll have to look that up. I can believe that, yeah. I mean, that's how that stuff happens, and they've started to discover some of it in the last 20 years to that detail.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of faults that are just inactive, but they come back, I mean, there's places that geologically are quiet for 500 years and then they get active again.
I mean, there's some disasters you can't really protect against, but we are doing a stupid level. Like, I think I probably told you the story of the guy that got flooded and then he put his house on pontoons. It was like a 100-year flood, but it came again 5 years later. He put it on pontoons and poles, so the water came, his house floated. He could have lived there if he wanted, and then it settled back down on the foundation when it was over. There's so much, or you could just build houses out of concrete and you lose your stuff, but you have a roof to go back to because you just get the mud out. Or you could, there's things like that. And in earthquake areas, there's really nothing you can do except for if you're rich enough, they do pretty good earthquake construction.
Well, I mean, they're doing it better, so that is the point. I mean, most of the people that died in Japan died in old structures, the old houses, the old slate roofs, that are good against the monsoons, but really, really bad in earthquakes. And, but yeah, people did really well in the new modern built buildings. So, I mean, I guess they're doing some of that. I'm just saying, obviously, I think our friggin' societies are so out of control, we're in preposterous debt. So yeah, where's the resources for this, future prevention thing going to come from? And just look at how feeble our investments are. We are living hand to mouth. We're not doing anything in a long-term interest. We're not building Hoover dams anymore. We're not doing anything reasonable or rational.
Well, that's the main thing. One of the kind of I found interesting historical things was. I think they were the Whigs, and they were real conservative and kind of jerky businessmen, but they had a really positive effect, I think, in the long run. Fuck you. You were such a fucking idiot. God, people are such idiots.
Yeah, I was saying that. Oh, I kicked the wrong guy.
Why didn't you just kick?
Well, which one am I supposed to kick?
I kicked the wrong guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I moderated Andre, the Romanian guy. He'll take care of it.
But anyway, they built the infrastructure up. And even business guys just wanting to be the ones to make money off of building it can lead to, that's why pork isn't as bad as people say, because a lot of times people are building stuff and it's local construction companies, et cetera, et cetera. So, stuff gets built. The real problem is war, because you're just throwing that money away.
Yeah, well, like I said, but you're not going to be able to fix the war problem without fixing the politics problem, which is completely undoable. So, I guess it's you have to hit the ones you have some hope of getting to. So, I would just argue that if we just put policies in place that said, yeah, we're going to do this whatever voucher thing for the number of kids you can have, and we're going to start financing this a little bit different, and you're going to have to sort of pay for your own kids. Maybe you have to pay a high school education tax if you have a kid, or some other kind of bullshit, because this is really kind of silly.
I think the thing you have to do is make businesses that it would actually be of the sort of business that you ought to have.
I think what you have to do is...
That's really super funny.
Yeah, it's okay. It's got Coblin. Okay, well, I'll get him.
You have all these bitches out here that's having like 3 kids in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Or like 4 kids in 5 years. That's fucked up there.
I think you need businesses that are owned by all the employees. If you
No,
could break that
I think you
hurdle,
need non-profits, okay? Because as soon as the employees own the business, they're going to become just as greedy and avarice and shitty as the owners. Fuck owning businesses. Get paid to do your job, period.
Well, I could see both of those things. The reform would involve both of those. So basically, you'd have private businesses would be run more as a service thing, and I think even just making them employee-owned would do that, because people go into businesses, the careers they want, because they do care about that, or they want to learn. There's an influence more of them wanting to do it right than people that just don't even go to the business and just collect dividends. So.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it just tends to give people like unions, okay? I mean, it tends to give them incentive to break the rules. So if, like, say I'm business A and I own stock in business A and I work for business A, then all of a sudden I might think, hey, you know what, if I put a business B logo on my truck of dioxin and I dump it into the sewer and I take a picture of me doing it, yeah, I could get business B in big fucking trouble, and then my business A stock will go up because business B is going to be totally fucked. And I mean, you give people all kinds of incentives that are really corrosive and destructive. So I say, fuck owners. We don't need owners. We just need people to do their job, period.
Well, how about, with this, too socialist or not socialist, no, not for what? If basically, if you want to do a business, you sign it up, and it's almost like government contracting, that you're in a regulated system. You can compete for government to sell and work with the government, and you can just open a regular business. But it would be basically regulated in the sense, the way it would be made public, right? Automatically, there'd be a public aspect to any business, because you'd be doing it as a public service. If you want to affect more people than just what you personally do and make money, you would have to say, well, I am going to make a public service. And that's why we say, okay, well, then you have to let handicapped people in. And, that's the justification for those kinds of rules, because they say, oh, you want to make a lot of extra money, more than you need just to survive, then you have these rules.
Yeah, I just want to get rid of all the corruptions that exist. Just make it dirt simple. So get rid of benefits being tied to labor, get rid of all the other crap, and just have a simple system where you pay the top guy $300,000, you pay the bottom guy $40,000, and everybody works within that scheme.
We're working on a business, and I want to Oh, sorry. I'm starting a business and I'm trying to model it off of this giant co-op. But my girlfriend wanted to have the spread of pay of salary be just 2 times. What you said, just 45 to 300. So let's say 50. So 6 times spread. That's what I said. I said it should be more like 5. But was 2, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I think you have to reward people that have done the work to be
what is
experts.
unfair is, why
you know.
does one person get 5 times the salary of another person? Are they doing 5 times work? That's one.
Sometimes they are. Yeah, sometimes you do investment. Like say if you're a medical doctor, you did 8 years of medical school. That was 8 years of your life first, okay, where you couldn't be doing something else. It's hard learning. It's not any fun. There's very little pleasure involved. So in a sense, that's got to be rewarded in the future, okay, that investment, because you really had to sit there and put the dollars up front. You had to put you could die, you could go to medical school for 8 years and then drop dead of cancer. I mean, it's a risk to acquire that kind of knowledge. And so that I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to reward that. That's all I would say.
Example makes sense. I do agree with that situation because that person put the effort in. But what the typical situation is, someone gets their trust fund money, $20,000 or whatever, puts it into the business. They're getting billions of dollars.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. No, what I'm talking about only works where you don't have owners anymore. Okay, you don't have investors. You don't have people that can own any of this stuff anymore. So their inherited money wouldn't even exist as a reality because the only way you could acquire assets is through work. You couldn't acquire a dollar bill any other way. There would be no other paper.
The whole situation right
There would be no other ownership paper denominated in dollar bills except for currency earned through work.
What about this other case where you just have a skill? Maybe it wasn't the skill that you work. Everybody works hard for their skills, but you might just be born with a beautiful voice, and sure enough you practice, but it wasn't like risking 8 years where you might not even pass in the end and get your degree. So I think as well that those deserve payment, extra payment, and it's just a matter of the spread should be controlled, and a factor of 5 is nothing now. Aren't we talking about, we're talking about 3-digit factors in the U.S. now, isn't it?
Well, we're talking about factors that have nothing to do with earning any of it. So the whole point is all of this money would be earned. So you can afford to have a differential when the differential has something to do with actually working. Okay, I mean, and actually being responsible.
Even earn money, like the CEOs when I was working for all these .coms and stuff. They work many hours and they're freaked out and stressed out. And they're in the labor force, and they should get more for their labor, but I mean not hundreds, but they are working.
Right. Well, that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying I'm willing to have a system that gives you plenty of room to advance yourself. I'm just saying give people incentive to advance themselves, to do their work better, to work harder. So I think in a range of that 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 to 1, you got plenty of opportunity to give people encouragement to acquire more skills or to advance themselves. And that's all I want is create incentives. I don't, so to me it's almost arbitrary what the number actually is, as long as the number isn't preposterous.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what I'm saying, we should give people incentive to work their way to the top if they want. But we all know money makes money, and that's never going to change, really.
Well, I think it is, but it's not going to change on purpose. It's going to change the hard way because money is not going to be worth anything because we're just going to have to keep printing it to pay the bills.
Yeah, I think we might have, I've discussed it before too, but I like to go over the numbers of, I think there should be like a maximum net worth or even gross worth and a maximum income. And after you get the extra money, I think you should be able to give it to whomever you want that doesn't already at the cap. So that's how you could give it to your family. But even that would be better than these stupid trust funds that control all the rich people by keeping the money centralized and just giving it out to who they want. But I think you could have I don't see why somebody needs to make more than maybe $5 million, or actually, I don't see why somebody.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm going to kill the value on money because money's not going to be able to make money anymore, and it shouldn't make money anymore. You should acquire surplus as a hedge against the future. Like if I want to save money to pay for a dentist, or I want to save my money to buy a new iPod. Yeah, I put the money away. I don't expect to make more money. I just put it away as a surplus, and I'm a hedge against earthquake. I say I'm afraid of earthquakes. I just want to say, well, I want to have a few $1,000 around just in case I have an earthquake. Yeah, that surplus, surplus should retain its value. It shouldn't grow in value, and that's the problem with our system now. Is you got to guarantee growth in value of surplus, and that has to be paid out of productivity. Workers have to pay that interest payment.
Hey, you know what we're talking about, what you're saying too, even more than what I've added, is just a lot like this book I'm reading. It's public domain because I was cheap. I like to look for that up in the readers, the e-readers. But it's by H.G. Wells, A Modern Utopian, and it's a weird thing too, because like he says, it's not money that's evil, but you do have to change it and sort of neutralize it the way you're talking about. But one side of what he's saying is people could acquire their own property and make it as luxurious as they want without limit, because they're and just because we'd allow that, but also, you know, they're hiring people to make their gardens
But
nice.
You're not getting it. You know how big a waste that is? That's a pyramid.
Let me finish. But on the other hand, any of the business where he's trying to make a profit, in other words, you can try to make your own life nicer and own that property through your use. But any business that you do, when you die, there's no inheritance, it belongs basically to the state, and you've set up this thing where you can run it. And you profit off of it, but basically through your salary. There is no ownership, but since you initiated it, you get to decide what business it's in, that it makes widgets and not, widgets or whatever.
Yeah, well, that just doesn't work. I mean, it's like Hearst is a good example of all this shit. I mean, you go visit the Hearst estate and go look at what a pyramid looks like. A preposterous waste of money. And now it's a little state park, and it's just a monument to colossal waste. And it's only 10%. It's only 10% of what it used to be. I mean, basically wasted a ton of human labor to have every piece of Egypt just about hauled the fuck over to this country so he could put it in his fucking basement. I mean, it's just a preposterous waste of human labor.
No, I want to rebut that first. Wait. Okay, Gary, don't assume how this thing works out, because for one thing, the people like that aren't making the money in his system because their business can't rape so much profit. So remember, this is H.G. Wells. He got it pretty well together on details like that. It's very interesting.
Well, you flipped out. I just don't see any point in allowing for that kind of waste. I just don't see any point in it. It's too easy to prevent the acquisition of that kind of ownership. I don't want lords. I don't want bishops. I don't want kings. I don't want any part of this acquiring through no work bullshit. No, none of this I own because my parents owned crap. Well, go ahead and speaks.
Go ahead, interrupt.
It's a little scary when you have to wait for somebody to figure out how to hit the button and just talk. Well, whatever. Oh, whatever. The fact that women have multi-uses is a fact. So yeah, women are really good at doing all kinds of things. Women could build like spaceships, and they can fly in space shuttles, and they probably cook really good food and shit on the space shuttle. Yeah, and they're also good for fucking. It just happens to be a little added bonus.
Yeah, like make me a cup of coffee. Sit right here. Go over there.
women can be just as shitty as men, you know. I mean, really, when you come down to it, there's nothing, you know, just all the things that women kind of envy men for is all the evil parts of men. I mean, some of the, I mean, I almost hated to see that some women, you know, when they become businessmen, they become businessmen. They become just as cynical and manipulative and cheaty and debaucherous, and it's just, yeah, you're just like, damn. What's this big fingering thing mean? What does this mean?
It means you got a small penis and it's putting your finger in the cam, bro.
Yeah. I figured it was something like that. I just didn't want to acknowledge it. Ugh, straight dope.
Anyhow, I guess I'm just wondering about your theoretical economic system. Would there be any regulating body, any regulating agency, or it's simply up to the people in these, I guess, government-owned agencies?
Yeah, well, there'd be a guy, let's say we vote for a guy, okay, and he's going to become, like, whatever, the head of the business guy, all right? So he's like a president. And every year we get to either say yes or no, so we can vote him out of office and vote in a new guy, all right? So if we say no, then there's a new election, we get to vote in a new guy. And so he basically oversees all the CEOs of all the nonprofits financed by the government. So the government gives the businesses the seed money. So it just says, okay, here, we'll give you $10 million, start an insurance company. All right, the CEO guy hires a CEO guy, right? He hires a guy to run that business, and he's responsible for the guys he's hired. And so we, the people, get to say, you're doing a good job or you're doing a bad job to that guy because of the guys he's kept in charge of these not-for-profits. And so if one of them is really fucking up and wasting money, or it's not running good, or you're completely fucking up, then yeah, he's accountable. And so I guess just by that would be the accountability I would see that could be. You could even have more. You know, we could vote for even more people, and we could have like CEOs for different branches of businesses. You know, one branch for farming, one branch for this, one branch for different branches of business. But whatever, I'm just saying that's details. I'm just saying the accountability would basically be voting.
What about software doing this for us? Is that a consideration?
Yeah, well, I'm all for the computer thing. So yeah, and as long as all the data files would be like open source, like if we had an election online, we would all be able to look up a reference number that would be our vote. And so by having that, you know, we could basically check up to make sure our vote was counted, you know, because it would be a reference number. You know, we could also see how many reference numbers, you know, might not be accountable, but, you know, there'd be certain generic information provided, like how old is the guy who voted, male, female, you know, just the basic information would be tied to every vote. So it'd be really hard to cheat because we would have an accountability mechanism that would say, you know, well, how many 90-year-olds voted, you know, and how many, you know what I'm saying? So they couldn't just drag people out of nursing homes and say they voted when they didn't really vote.
I don't even mean about voting, though. I mean like software regulating this this theoretical system of yours.
Well, I don't know, you know, I don't even know if you need cyborgs controlling things yet. What is it, going to point a gun at the guy or something, like the computer with a gun? I'll shoot you if you don't do right, fucker. It just keeps saying that over and over. I'll shoot you if you don't do right, fucker. Yeah, well, look, whatever can be put in instrumentalities like, you know, that are just standards. I love standards. So if you can create standards, you know, great, that are implemented through software, fine.
That way we in my opinion, it would be impartial to the regulation itself. It wouldn't favor any human elements. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think if you just have standards and then you have a simple, terms of service kind of thing, and you just have very explicit rules that are, not too detailed, things will go okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it's never going to be completely impartial when you're using computer programming and stuff like that, because it's always regulated by some business or something like that when it really comes down to it. So,
Yeah, no,
well, I'm
I
just saying,
disagree.
I'm just saying the public library model. I'm just saying the public library model has been around a long time. Very little fraud, very little abuse. Okay, I mean, mostly it's encouraged people to even volunteer where they can. It's encouraged people to think of it as a public institution. So it's worked. You give it a little bit of money, it creates a lot of value. It certainly did in the past. Obviously, libraries have become pretty obsolete now and pretty useless. But the concept, when in its prime, was pretty much huge bang for the buck. And that's all I'm saying. And we didn't even need a lot of enforcement or accountability built into that system. I mean, it had almost none because of how it was built, how it was structured. It was just not something easily abused.
yeah, I agree. I just hope that we don't basically run away from the whole best man for the job, best qualified type infrastructure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you have accountability, that's the way it's going to be. Because if you're a manager and you can't afford to be anything else but try to get the best guys, because you're going to be accountable for their performance, yeah, then you're not going to have a problem. I'm 3 pages into the book. Yeah, 3 pages. Yep, when I read it 3 pages at a time, it's going to take me a couple of months probably, but yeah, whatever.
I appreciate it because I can't find that book as of yet at my library or at the bookstore, so I'm going to have to figure something out on it.
Yeah, well, somebody Amazoned it to me. A very nice person. Well, Sagan, come on. Carl Sagan, shit. See that stupid Contact movie? Holy shit. What the fuck? Oh yeah, we go to see the aliens. They built this whole wormhole machine and everything. So the aliens are too lazy to come to us in the first place. They won't even come to us to visit us, right? No, they're going to build a machine so we can come to them. And then we go to them, they don't even show themselves, and then they say absolutely nothing. They say, oh, you're interesting little funny humans. Ha ha ha, how you doing? Well, okay, we're done now, right? I mean, what the fuck was that? They didn't even give them like a peanut butter recipe or something. They didn't do nothing. It was stupid. Fucking dumb movie.
Billions and billions of years, light years.
Yeah, well, I like Carl Sagan when he did his little Cosmos show. That was all really good because nobody was talking like that. Nobody was talking about the cosmos, and so it was good that somebody was bringing all that shit up. But, yeah, I'm just saying. His book, Contact, was stupid.
Just be fair though, that was like the attempt at fiction.
Well, I understand, but a lot, you know.
I know. You should just check out his non-fiction books, like Demon Haunted World. It's incredible.
Well, I know it doesn't have a very good fucking title though, right? For a non-fiction book. I mean, for
It's actually playing. It's just mocking them, right? It's called The Demon Haunted World. Science is a candle in the dark.
yeah, well, whatever that one too. I mean, there's just so many high scientists that are not very scientific. Ooh, Alien prequel. So they're gonna go back to like when the aliens ate those big giant guys, or whatever the fuck that was. I never really got that. The first Alien movies, it's really hard to figure out. They were in like a big giant spaceship. There's like some big giant guy, and aliens got into, or I don't know. The whole thing looked kind of weird. I didn't get it.
Well, Von Hill knows all about that. The reptilians or whatnot.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're reptilians, but whatever. I know. Weird motherfucker. Baby fucker. Yeah, well, I mean, she's obviously got to be retarded, right?
His wife is a little slow.
Yeah, I imagine a little slow is, you know, kind of an understatement. I think she's probably very, very slow. Yeah, it's true though. Yeah, there's a lot of them down there in the south. A lot of moron down there. I was an import, so you know, that's why I wasn't a true moron. I was only being a fake moron. I'm just smoking my e-cigarette connected to my high voltage, my high voltage e-cigarette. I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up in Louisiana.
Yeah, Little Mouse is on her second kid by Vaughn, you know. I don't see her stopping anytime soon, you know.
Yeah, well, hopefully one of the kids will eat them both. But whatever. This is disgusting. Yeah, I don't. 240 is too high. 10 volts. 10 volts. Seems they like 10 volts. It's good numbers for them. Yeah, well, I wish I never got into the smoking thing. Big mistake. Yeah. Huge, giant, preposterous mistake.
Yeah, smoking kills more than AIDS, murder,
Oh,
cancer.
fuck the killing thing. It doesn't kill
No,
shit.
these are lies. I had a friend whose
Yeah,
father was a firefighter. Any death, it could be alcohol related, it could be a car accident. If you were a smoker, it was tacked up as a smoking related death. So that is a bullshit statistic.
Yeah, they're all, it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't kill. Everybody dies, asshole. All it does is it might, okay, it might kill 5 years. So instead of living to be 95, you die at 90. Big fucking woo. You know, alcohol kills little kids. No, big difference.
Alcohol's bad too, no doubt. So is prescription drugs.
Well, whatever. The point is who the fuck is anybody else to tell anybody else what the fuck to do? The point is that nicotine is a pointless addiction, so that one's, it fails right there. It's just an addiction.
Nobody's telling you what to do, but what you do, your actions affect
I'm just
others.
saying, you're just saying that like it kills all these
If my
people, it's a
taxes
big
have to pay
horror,
for
oh,
it,
it kills all
benefits.
these people, it's a big huge killer. No, it's not all that shit. It's just a pile of crap. That's just part of the propaganda used to steal fucking thousands of dollars from me.
Why $1,000 to cigarette taxes?
Yeah, the highest tax substance in the world is a personal vice. Yeah, and it's only because it's a minority, and it's completely unconstitutional, un-American crap.
No, I believe in personal choice. If you want to smoke, go ahead. I just want to pay for your medical bills to my taxes.
Yeah, you don't pay for them, asshole, so you're still too stupid. You're fucking, you buy the propaganda lies, and you think they're real. That's not a truth. Everybody dies, asshole. You are going to die. I don't want to pay for your death. If somebody dies of cigarette smoking, they die younger, which means they automatically are cheaper. Okay, and lung cancer kills quick. All right, it doesn't last like Alzheimer's for fucking 10 years, asshole. So statistically, when it's actually done, when the statistics are actually written down by people who give a fuck about the truth, when people give a fuck about the truth, shut the fuck up when I'm talking. All right, you're getting kicked out of the room. Goodbye, asshole. Goodbye, asshole.
You can say a point without using profanity.
Fail. Yeah, they just don't want to hear the fucking truth. And so I'm just going to say it clear. I'll say it calmly. Alright? Statistically, cigarette smokers are a net beneficiary to the economy. They pay, in terms of Social Security, more than they take out. They pay into Medicare more than they take out. Okay? They are a benefit socially. Every time when you tax cigarettes, when you create less cigarette smokers, you create a higher welfare burden, a higher Medicaid burden, a higher Social Security burden. So socially, the fucking country will lose money by having people quit smoking. Okay? Because they die after their productive years, not before or not during. Okay? 85% of cigarette smokers die after the year 60. Okay, so you gain absolutely nothing by preventing people from smoking cigarettes financially. All the liability will be more liability. It will cost your government more money if you have people quit smoking. And it's just a big, fat, pain in the ass, jackass lie that they use to excuse this obscene and disgusting taxation. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So we should start taxing people based on their genetics. See how they like that. Tax their goddamn donuts, tax their fucking goddamn french fries, tax their goddamn fucking hamburgers. Well, constitutionally, they can't outlaw. Constitutionally, they shouldn't even be allowed to tax it. Why do you think Prohibition had to go for a constitutional amendment? It had to do that because it couldn't get away. Back then, when judges actually read the Constitution, they knew they couldn't get away with taxing alcohol. They could have, look, instead of Prohibition, they could have just said, let's raise taxes on alcohol. They wouldn't need a 50-state vote. They wouldn't have to go through a constitutional amendment. They could just ban it through taxation. They could just put a $50 tax on an ounce of alcohol, and then nobody could legally drink anymore, right? And so the reason why they didn't do that is because they couldn't do it, because it was illegal 100 years ago to abuse the law the way they've gotten away with it now. Judges back then would not have allowed the majority to tax minority vices. Now, who the fuck cares? Do I care if Wells Fargo is laundering drug money? Who the fuck cares? Drugs shouldn't be illegal either. Oh, whatever. This whole banker thing is just all such a bunch of huff and poop shit also. The problem is all you assholes have credit cards with $30,000 of debt on them that you never intend to pay back, you fucking cunts. That's the fucking problem. I love all these people that gripe. Oh, them fucking banks, yeah, they made me buy that car that I can't afford. And all them hookers, and yeah, alright, I drank about $7,000 worth of beer last month. Fucking bankers. Yeah, right. I'm just saying, there's no point in the whole illegal drug thing. We should encourage people not to use drugs, and we should get people off drugs. But we should not have people in prison over drug bullshit. And we certainly shouldn't be making it more expensive to be a drug addict. That's really counterproductive. Had to let the beast in. Fucking cat monster. Now, I just want an atheist civilization. Like I said, this word socialism scares me because there's an awful lot of people who think, it's like the commune thing that just didn't work in the 60s. There's just too many people who want to just sit on their ass and watch TV all day and want somebody to pay them to do it. And fuck that shit. I want a society that pays workers, and I want to be paying people to sit on their ass and have babies and expect health care. Yeah, well, I mean, utopia is a concept, I think, every individual is going to have their own definition of it. But the idea of a perfect day, I can do that. I can write myself a perfect day script, and then, just do it over and over again. Very good. But it ain't going to happen in reality, that's for sure. Yeah, well, it really is time for a war. I mean, I really am in just such a mood for it for the last year or so. I just had a real hankering to go charging down a field with my pitchfork. I just want to pitchfork some shit. Fuck it. Yeah, winner take all. Pitchfork wars. Winner take all. Well, the whole point is I would wipe out the animals. So, I mean, if you've watched any of my videos about virtual reality, I always point out that, yeah, the animals are going to be replaced with plastic. There's not going to be any, there's not going to be any animals outside doing anything anymore. Fuck that shit. Yeah, well, my cat is already, he's fixed. He's not having kids anyway. He's happy. He'll live out his life and, you know, don't need no more kittens. Yeah, but how are you going to write the software for a cat? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to know what a cat really wants. I mean, really. I mean, all right, stinky, hairy, weird cat vagina. Yeah, all right. Let's put that into our pixelation. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to do that. And then cats are all about smells and shit. So you have to write all this smelly software. You know, dead rotten mouse. Yeah, let's run some of that dead rotten mouse. We love that. Yeah, well, they needed something that moves. Yeah, like my cat the other day, it's an old farty cat, you know, but he caught a chipmunk the other day, and the other day I'm sitting there petting him, and he runs across the whole fucking yard, all the way across, like hundreds of feet across the yard, because he saw something moving over there, and figured he'd go pounce it. And it was like, it's just totally unrealistic. I mean, whatever was there was going to see him coming. It's a wide open field. It's not like he's going to surprise anything. You know, and I couldn't believe that he could get even the energy up to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to run all the way over there. And I got video of him, and he was playing in the Pachysandra, and he was jumping straight up in the air, because, you know, he had something, a frog or something, and so he was doing this jumping straight up in the air thing, you know. It was just so fucking funny. So I'll have to find that video and put it on.
No, it's crazy. It's inspiring to watch them do what they do. In a way, like it's horrible. Like my cat, the big fluffy Himalayan one time we were just sitting in the yard and he just runs across the yard and bit a dragonfly to death. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Like,
well, at least it was just a dragonfly. I mean, the other cat I had, you know, I used to call him Alfred. He's one of these orange, you know, typical orange kind of cat, orange striped cat. He was this old, beat up. I mean, you know, I had known him for 20 years, and, you know, he had his leg busted, he had all kinds of shit. I mean, he was just a long, hard life. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there outside, and all of a sudden, I see him just fly out of nowhere, goes running across the yard, grabs a fucking rabbit, right? It's squealing, and I'm chasing after the cat, and blood squirting around, and so I finally get him to drop the rabbit just so I can watch its last 3 or 4 little squirts of blood ooze out of it. And it was just like, fuck! What the fuck was that? It's a fucking rabbit, you dumb shit! I mean, it was like, it was insane.
they're crazy. They're just like murdering stuffed animals. Like they're so fucking cute, but they can do some crazy shit.
Yeah, when I get that thing in their head, they just go ape. It's just like the neighbor dog was this really great Malamute, and he was really this greatly behaved dog. But rabbits, man, he had a thing for fucking rabbits. And I had a couple of rabbits still in the pen in the back because the neighbors were trying to breed them, you know, for money. So I bought the rabbits from them to rescue them. So anyway, I ended up with these stupid rabbits. And I figured rabbits live like 3 years, right? The damn things live like 10 years. And I was like so pissed off because I had these rabbits for 10 fucking years. I was like, God damn it, they're supposed to be dead already. But anyway, that's a whole little side story. But the dog, every now and then he'd go over there and he'd just go ballistic. I mean, he'd be under the cage and he's gnawing it, he's biting into the fucking wire, and and you're just going completely insane, and you're just like, how, you know, it's a perfectly nice dog, and then you know, but rabbits just made him crazy.
Have you seen a chinchilla?
Well, I've seen it's like a big hamster, right? Well, it's like a big...
Yeah, she's like a rabbit squirrel. I have one. She's amazing. It's so adorable and fluffy, but crazy. They do the craziest jumping and acrobatics and
Yeah, I never saw one like, you know, I never saw somebody living with one, so I don't know how crazy they are. But yeah, they get kind of varminty. I don't like those, whatever they call those little long things, those, whatever those volley things that people have, those long rats. What do they call those, ferrets? So yeah, I don't like them ferrets much.
yeah, I'm not into the whole like claw thing and destroying of everything. Well, that's kind of what my chinchilla does, but
It's a chinchilla, and the good news is after it's dead, I can make a hat. Yeah.
that's outrageous. You know, like they will kill like 100 of these little things for a fucking coat. Like they're this.
Oh, it's just horrible. I mean, even minks, they're not very big, you know, and you just figure, oh man, how many minks do they gotta wipe out for one of these fucking coats? And minks, they don't like living with each other. You know what I mean? They like living in a family, but they don't like living with each other. And so you gotta know when they raise these things, they gotta be beating the shit out of each other. Yeah, whatever. Just like making little funny remarks. I like to kill baby seals. It's fun. Well, I mean, I just wish I have to come with like some really good alien suit. You know, just so I can come on Earth and pretend I'm an alien and just farm you fuckers. You know, just farm the humans.
Farm us for what? We're not good for anything.
No, I just farm you for the sake of farming you. You know, I wouldn't. There wouldn't be any use to it. I'd just be an excuse to prod you and, you know, put you in little cages and kick your cage and say, "Shut the fuck up." Do that kind of shit all day. Piss on you. You know, just take a piss on your head.
I don't know. We're pretty disturbing.
Yeah, you're cute when you're young, but that's about it. Yeah, well, there's lots of shit to hate. I just don't get people making fun of suffering though. I just don't get it. It just ain't funny.
It's just astonishing to me the fact that most people can't even. I don't know if they can't even comprehend or they just don't. They're afraid. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the fact that they can just laugh. Oh, haha, that animal was tortured to death. That's fucked.
Now, I guess they figure they got immunity to that one, right? Oh, I'm not going to become an elephant, so I can laugh at elephants. You know, maybe that's all it is they just figure they're immune. They're not going to possibly get that disorder. I'm not going to get elephant, so okay, I'll laugh at the elephants. I'm not going to become a cow, so haha cows. I don't know, something like that.
But it fucks me like they don't even have this reflex, you know, to see like pain or like a slaughterhouse video or something and not be like disgusted, you know? I'm like, ah ha ha, look at that guy fucking step on that thing's head and rip its skin off. That's funny. That's fucked. Like, where's the switch? Like, how are you interpreting this and then seeing that? I don't understand.
Yeah, like I said, it's a real disconnect that I don't get either. But it just must be that they're just so caught up in their own subjective experience that that's all there is in the world, and everything else is just there to entertain them in some way or another. Period. Yeah, well, Jack, you know, getting kind of old, and he kind of was finished, so it's kind of a, you know, apparently died of a blood clot that went to his heart, so he went quick. That was good. Yeah, really, I mean, you know, how many times do you have to sit there and announce, Jack Morgan's dead, Jack Morgan's dead, Jack? It's like, well, what, was it it's gonna cure AIDS tomorrow or something? What the hell is this, you know? I mean, you know, it would have been cool if you people kept saying, like, Jack Morgan's in prison, Jack Morgan's in prison, the whole time he was in prison, but none of you fuckers did that. Well, Jack probably wouldn't want to rest in peace. He just kind of want to still be nagging people. He probably hopes his corpse will stink or something, you know, one last, you know, goodbye stink at the human race or something. But yeah, I mean, you know, you know, like his work continued, fighting the good fight. Yeah, he made some kind of quote about lost causes, and it was, you know, one of those, you know, the only cause worth fighting for, blah blah blah. So it's kind of good. Yeah, well, if you don't know who Jack Kevorkian is, you're an idiot, but whatever.
I had to explain to my fiance who Jack Kevorkian was. It was weird.
Yeah, it's kind of tragic, you know, but whatever. I guess, you know, look, it sort of has been out of the news for a long time, but so I can understand you young folks having a lack of connection.
Hey Gary, I'm just curious to know what's your opinion on euthanasia? Of all the videos that you've done, I'm just sorry if I missed it. I've never heard you talk about it before.
Jeez, that sounds like a lie. Really, it's got to be a liar, right? I mean, you know, come on. So somehow it's almost in every video. I mean, I don't even know how you could miss it. And I got a whole channel devoted to it called Graceful Exit. But yeah, obviously I think people should have a right to die. I think they should be able to have a living will that expresses that desire, and it should be respected by the government, and people should have a free right to end their life when it's their time to end their life, when they're done living. When they no longer are saying, I want to live, then they should gracefully die. Unless, of course, they create little Frankenstein, then they should have to stay here forever and ever and ever and clean up the mess they made. Oh, there's lots of solid discussion. Oh, damn. I wonder where we can get one of those.
I just want to say I've got a solid discussion right here for you.
Okay, sounds like a guy ready to sell us a car. So what are you selling, fella? That's what's behind door number 2.
I believe the youth in Asia seem like smart kids, and I hope they grow to be smart adults. I have no beef with Asia.
The youth in Asia. I think the youth in Asia are completely fucked up, actually. They're always wearing these fucking uniforms, these like Catholic kind of things and shit. You're like, how the fuck they get that kind of crappy way of living? Didn't they do anything but mimic and imitate people? Couldn't they even like have their own colors, like yellow and green or something? Fuck. So the youth in Asia are really, really fucktarded.
I think they just wear uniforms in the porn you watch, Gary.
Maybe so. It probably is correct. It's all porn, right? Anytime there's an Asian in a video, it's porn. Isn't that how it works? It's porn somehow or other. It's porn. It always turns out that way for me somehow. Somehow it gets porny.
This commercial is hot.
Yeah, it is funny. It's just that little facey thing. They got that little face that says, fuck me. You know what I mean? They don't even do the booby thing or they don't even do like, you know, they don't even do like good underwear shit or anything, you know? But they have that face that's just saying somehow, you know, you want me. Hey. Yeah, hey. Hey. Can't make much out of hay. Straw men. Make straw men out of hay. Hey, Korean girl. Probably wouldn't work out. Well, come on, people. We need some better conversation than this. Pickled Chicklet guy, you gotta change that fucking color. For a guy who has a fiance, you are so fucking gay. I mean, goddamn, you are gay all over the fucking place.
Oh, Gary, you know he's not the only one.
Oh, you. Yeah, well, he does it in a different, subtler kind of way, but yeah, he's sort of got some sort of thing going on too. But anyway, he's got talent, man. He's a very talented guy. It's bizarre things with his tongue. I'd like to be his agent, like rent him out. See, look at that. Look at this. Ooh, spooky, spooky, spooky. Yeah, I just like to have it. You like to just have that in your back pocket in case you need it. Yeah, I might need this guy. Okay, yeah, you work on this end, I'll work on that end.
My rates would entirely depend on which end I was working on.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Anyway, what's next? Hello? Conversation, people. Is there any conversation? Ooh, ooh, look at the cleavage there. I see a little cleavage. Cleavage. Yeah. Oh, it's a yellow shirt. Oh, no, it's oh, holy shit, it's red. Ooh, mighty. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, whoops. Oh, no, okay, okay. I'm under control, I'm under control. Warm and fluffy.
Sorry for the terrible commentary.
What was terrible, horrible, what, who, what?
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't drink today.
No, I didn't drink today. I'm not a slut. I'm a whore, but I'm not a slut.
Well, she does have a point. Drinking limits your inhibitions. When you don't have any inhibitions, it's not a problem.
That's the thing. That's right. I used to be inhibited, but somehow I'm... At certain times, I've seemed to have lost that problem, which is weird. Well, I am the excitable type.